Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? It's your girl Janine with Symphony Reads. It's good to be back in the house today. Um, life happens, but I'm just gonna keep pressing forward. And today I got a good lesson in that. To just keep pressing forward. If you fall, get up, dust off, and keep going. As always, visit us on Facebook. We would love for you to check us out on Facebook. We are Symphony Reads Ministry, SRM, Symphony Reads Ministry. And you can also find us as our little tag at Symphony Reads. Join us, follow us on Facebook. Join us, see what we're all about. But we're all about, inspiring, motivating, encouraging everyone through whatever your life journey has you at this point, this moment in time. And that's just something that I think we all need, is to just be encouraged and, be motivated and to be inspired, to keep going, to keep moving, to maybe shift some of the negative talk or the negative perceptions and, to more positive ones, to more things above than things below, and how to get stronger in that. So we would love for you to, visit us on Facebook. You can also give us a call. Excuse me. And that number is 240-681-9275. That's 240-681-9275. You can also email us symphonyreads@gmail.com. That's symphonyreads@gmail.com. And so today I want to jump into what I didn't post yesterday, and that's February the 11th was yesterday. So it says the world doesn't need more sameness. And say what you feel, wear what you want, do what you please, believe what you believe, have your opinion. Graciously hear the opinions of others, but do not allow anyone to bully you out of your truth. Stand in who you are. Take a stand for others. Celebrate what makes you different. The world is awaiting your honest, rebellious, and wild soul. Show us who you truly are. When I first read this, which was probably 3 minutes before I actually is making this video, I think, I don't want to say I had mixed emotions, but I think my mind kind of just went a little bit of every place, everywhere with this one. Because on one hand, I see, it's saying, is which I believe, we are all unique. We like to think that we're the same, and we're not. We're all unique and wonderfully made. And the things that make me tick and make me who I am are not the things that necessarily make you tick and make you who you are. And that doesn't mean that we don't like similar things, have similar beliefs. But when it comes to the core of who you are, that is all you. You know what I'm saying? Just like who I am, that's all me. And, have you ever heard, I know growing up, I used to hear it, when someone would say, how is so-and-so doing? And you don't really know how to say what you're trying to say about that person, but you'll say they are being who they are. But you will call them by their name. They're being, like, my dad. People will ask me all the time, how is your dad? And, on a good day, I'll be like, you know what? He's being dad. And it's like people understand what that means without me going any further, because who he is, that's uniquely him. And people get that, you know what I'm saying? And I think people get that about me. And I think people get that about you too. Everybody. I don't think anyone is excluded from that. I think at some point when people ask that question, well, how is so and so doing? And you don't know how to say, oh, they're good, they're bad. Or you just go, you know what, they're being, like in my instance, they're being Janine. They being Janine. So, that's what that's just, where a part of me went, that it's okay to be who God has made you to be. It's okay to be that person. We're all just different. We're all unique. What makes up me is not necessarily what makes up you. And, we are intricate in the way that we are made and designed, that it's okay to be who you are. Because I'm going to tell you, when you think about being, and I used to have this thing growing up, that I had to, when I had to talk out in groups and stuff like that, whether it was in school or whether it was, in church or whatever have you, whatever it is, I felt like, and I would practice on how to sound like whoever my favorite person was during then, just like I tried to sound like them, and really make my point, and you know what works for them is what works for them. And there's nothing wrong. There's no shade, in that. What works for them, what works for them. But I wasn't reaching nobody because I was trying so hard to be like somebody else. And it wasn't until I really just started to have my own voice and just voice my opinions the way I am, how I would say stuff and how I would, come across, which, like I always say, I think I'm just a little silly, which is, fine. But, in the way I come across. And lo and behold, it was like some people were getting reached. They were getting reached. Even with this blog post, I put it out there to whoever, sees it. And it's amazing to me when I get that response back. They be like, I feel you, sister. I get you, girl. Like, you know what? I was thinking that way, or, that really helped me that day. And what would have happened if I was still trying to sound like somebody else's voice? Would those people have gotten reached? Would it have blessed them? Would it have helped them? And so I had to be comfortable, and still it's not a struggle all the time, but that this is just who I am. This is what I believe. This is what makes me who Janine is. And this is why, I do what I do, because I feel like it will reach those who get it and understand it in such a way that, because it's just the way that I'm coming across, and then you'll have those who don't. They're like, I don't get it, sis. I don't even want hear this no more. So I just had to be, very comfortable in my own voice. And, it's okay to be who I am. And it has taken me a long time to really get comfortable in my own skin and be okay with who I am. And, to know that what God has put in me to say, that's for me to say, and how it doesn't have to come across like anybody else. It doesn't have to come across that way. It can come across the way I come across. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely where my mind went when I first read this. And then, it says, and I believe this, where it says, graciously hear the opinions of others, but do not allow anyone to bully you out of your truth. And I took that to mean this. People are going to have their opinions, whether I agree with the opinion or whether I don't. People are going to have their opinions based off of how I look, how I project, how my posture, my surroundings, whatever they're going to do. And the uniqueness of that is people are going to always have their opinion. But I can't allow those opinions to change who I am. You know what I'm saying? If every time, someone says, oh, you know, you should wear your hair up all the time. And then, I start wearing my hair up. And then, oh, but you should wear your hair down. Then you have other people, oh, but you should wear your hair down. And then I start trying to wear my hair. That's driving me crazy. And why am I changing, the basis of who I am just because you don't like something about maybe my appearance or the way I speak or whatever have you, whatever that is shouldn't change who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a difference when you have a situation where you say something and someone brings to your attention that, maybe you didn't think that thought process through, or, it's more of a healthy criticism, if you will. And then, like, I didn't realize that it came across this way. And I didn't realize that, it might, you took it a wrong way type thing. I think that's a little different than, constantly, trying to fit everyone's approval of who they believe you should be, what you should say and how you should look or whatever. And then, when people have these opinions or they come across, hateful, spiteful, whatever you want, my biggest thing, you do not have to receive it. You just simply don't. You don't have to receive that. You don't. It is your choice if you receive it or not. Like I said, a lot of times, sometimes when people say stuff to me, I can see it as a very constructive criticism. And then I can, develop, well, oh, I didn't, okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I can be more mindful of that, in the future, to, certain things. But I don't have to receive that negativity. I don't have to receive it at all. Neither do you. Nobody has to receive that. I had a woman, this was some years ago, probably about 8 years ago, who she was praying, and she was praying for me, but I couldn't connect with anything she was praying for me, but because I don't even know where she was coming from, I guess, is, and it made me self-conscious a little bit, it made me a little self-conscious, actually. So, and it wasn't bad in the sense of, like, oh, she was cursing me and stuff like that. But I think she was, praying for something on my life that I wasn't even involved in. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't involved in it. And so it upset me. So, I'm like, where is she getting this from? Well, like, I didn't get it. And I remember talking to the pastor, and I was like, what, I don't even know. I was all jacked up inside because I didn't understand her prayer. It's like, to me, when you pray over someone, it should be reflective of, that connection with you and God, and you are sincerely praying for that person. Like, maybe because that they're going through a situation, you know what I'm saying? And you're praying, God, I just really pray that they come out that situation. Or, God, I know she's struggling right now. And, I just pray that her struggle is coming to an end. Let's pray for her strength during this time, something, like that. And I felt like I didn't know how she got where she was coming from. And it was to the point where I almost didn't even know she was praying for me or over me. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. And, the pastor looked at me and he said, Janine, I'm going to tell you this. And I want you to understand this. And I said, okay. Just because a person is praying over you, praying about you, whatever, saying something to you, giving you advice, whatever the situation is, you do not have to receive it. And it was just mind blowing. And I was feeling some type of way, and I had to learn that there were times that I just don't have to receive the information, especially if I feel like it don't pertain to me, or it's just not my judge, whatever. I don't have to receive it, and neither do you. And I mean, that doesn't mean that I was mean towards the lady, but I just learned that you don't have to take on that negativity. You don't have to receive it. You don't have to let it in your heart and mess with your countenance. You don't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do all that. So that was another thing that I saw there. And then it's okay to stand for who you are. It's okay to stand for who you are, who God created you to be. It's okay to do that. And take a stand for others, If you feel led, you feel like someone is being, picked upon or bullied on, or, you don't have to go with the crowd. You don't have to go to the crowd. If that's not what you believe, be okay with that's just not what you believe, or that's not what you see, or that's not your experience. And I could tell you, there's a many people that you could come across in your life, have relationships with, and you're cool. You have this relationship with this person. You're real cool. Y'all could talk. Everything is cool, copacetic. And then you can meet that person who think that person is the absolute devil, and because they had a totally different experience with that same person, and it's like, wow, but like, wow, and just totally different experience. People can have that with me. Depending on when you met me in my life, it might have been a very different situation. So, yeah, so you just have to be okay. And if you feel led to, speak up about how someone else is being talked about or treated in such a way, I say it's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. It's okay to speak up. Be like, this just hasn't been my experience. It's simple as that with the person, and maybe, but you don't have to just stand by and, allow someone else to be called stupid, being, feeling less than worthy, because their opinion is different, or whatever the situation may be. You don't have to stand by and, put up with that and just be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Be like, first of all, stop talking behind their back. Say it to their face. Talk to them. Have that conversation with them, because that's the only one who can help you. It's them. And there's ways to do that where it's respectful and it's not, but that's your experience. That's not the experience somebody else has had with this person. And, so that's just kind of, again, where I went with that. And it's okay. We're all different. We just simply are. And what makes me different from anybody else are those little intricacies about me that just makes me who I am, And again, I had to really, my whole life become very comfortable in my skin. And I would say I'm probably within the last couple of years have gotten to the point where I'm simply okay and just being comfortable in my own skin. So, just I just had to get to that place where I'm okay and be okay with those differences and be okay with just be okay with those differences and just I don't know how else to say it, and celebrate those differences, and just be okay with that, and I don't know how else to say that, but and it takes time. If you're not comfortable with, and there are things that should change about a person, about yourself. And I think, if it's something that bothers you, you should, pray upon that and, ask for the change to come and work on changing those things. Like, but then there's just those things that just make you you. Like, even though, like I find it amazing when I can find people who just, how do I say it? I can find people who, even though the storm I'm talking is look like it's about to go over top their heads, and they can still smile or have a certain peace about them. That's to me a remarkable quality that I don't always have. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes just when everything is chaotic, I can be just as chaotic as the situation. So yeah, that's just, kind of be okay with those little differences. I don't think the way other people think in certain situations. And I do try to see the beauty in everything, no matter what's happening. I do try to see the beauty. I really, really try to focus on just, some good things. And, show the world who you are. Because I'm going to tell you, being just who you are, it's going to resonate with someone and it's going to bless somebody and it's going to help somebody. And if you're slightly a rebel, now I'm not saying, you want to go on a spree of robbing banks, not where I'm going with that. But, just, being who you are, that's safe. Let's put it that way. That's safe. Then I say be who you are. And there are going to be people in life, period. I don't know who they are, where, or how it's going to come out, that will try to test and try who you are and try to get you so far out of your character. And we just have to be sensitive and know when that is happening. Sometimes it's a test, sometimes it's a temptation, sometimes whatever it is trying to take you out of your character, out of what you believe, who you believe yourself to be. And to believe a falsehood. And I wrote down here, it says, don't allow others to change you. And I put other in here, don't allow the devil to get you. Because I believe sometimes, if you believe yourself to be a certain way, like you believe in God, you believe in everything that God stands for, He's real, you've had experiences, and then, stuff happens, that will try to take you outside of that. And I think a lot of Job. I do. I think of the story of Job. Because if you just remember in the beginning, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but what made me think about Job is, here was a blessed man. He was a God-fearing man. He tried to do what he was supposed to do. He was a God-fearing man, and here it is, you have, the devil wanting to be able to put situations in place to take him outside of that. Be like, oh yeah, because your hand is around him, then of course he's going to be all loving you. But what happens when your hand come off of him? What is he going to do? He going to leave you alone. He's not going to trust you. He's not going to believe in you. He's not going to do anything. He does what he does. He puts situations and plant thoughts in our minds to, to separate us from God, to separate us from what we know to be best. And that's why I say, just don't let the the devil get you. And, and know that there are certain traps. And, Job was a certain type man. And, he wanted to challenge that because it challenged the relationship he had with God. And so I just say, watch that, because if you have a relationship with God and you know what you know to be known, but then you have situations that come up, and yes, they will come up, then, we want to quick, oh, God must don't love me. That's separation. That's trying to separate you from what you know to be true. And so you just have to be careful. And it's not just the devil. He got minions running around. So, it's other people who want to separate you from whatever, that good job that you have. If you're a happy, bubbly person, for some reason, other people get the kick out of maybe you not being so happy and bubbly and just want to see you sad all the time, or whatever situations they can see to get you to be everything. But, if you're not a cussing person, people would challenge that, be like, oh, she don't cuss, or oh, he don't cuss. Let me act this certain way and see if I can get them cussing. Or, we all do it when we drive in the road. I think we've all, saying little things that, it's like, woo, okay, taking me out my person. But again, it's just, that's life. And life will have those situations that will test that. And that's all. So it's being strong in who God made you to be, period. And that's what I have for that. So I really hope that blessed you. It blessed me. It blessed me. It really, really did bless me. To know that I'm different, and I'm okay with being different. And I don't want anyone trying to take me out that, because people are going to have their opinions, and Lord, they're not going to have them. They're not going to always agree with you, and they're not going to always be on your side. And, but you don't change unless you want to change. You don't change unless God changes you. Changing to, try to appease other people, that's the wrong reasons. So just be blessed in that. Be comfortable with who you are. Love who you are, because you are worthy. You are important. You are definitely loved. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time.